Your car, gone. Bella Flores blinked at her stepmother through the blur of hospital lights, her throat dry from the breathing tube and her side still burning from surgery. Denise stood beside the bed in her cream coat, holding a stack of papers like they mattered more than Bella being awake. You can't drive while recovering anyway, Denise said, so I handled it. Bella's fingers tightened weakly against the blanket. Handled what? Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. Denise dropped the papers onto the tray table. I sold it, already signed everything. For a second, the machines were the only sound in the room. Bella stared at the papers, then at Denise. That car was how she got to nursing school clinicals. It was how she worked late shifts. It was the one thing she thought her grandmother had left for her. Bella paid the insurance. Bella paid the repairs. Bella kept it running. And Denise had sold it while Bella was unconscious on an operating table. Where, Dad? Bella whispered. Home, Denise said quickly. I told him you needed rest. Bella looked down at the sales form. Her name was on it. So was a signature she knew she had never written. Denise leaned closer. Hospital bills don't pay themselves, Bella. This family has sacrificed enough. You don't need that car anymore. A nurse paused in the doorway, heard the sharpness in Denise's voice, then quietly stepped back out. Bella swallowed hard. How did you even sign for it? Denise's face changed, not anger first, fear. Then anger covered it. Don't start acting ungrateful, she snapped. I did what had to be done. Bella's eyes moved to Denise's hands. She was gripping the papers so tightly the corners bent. Before Bella could speak again, a man's voice came from the doorway. That's exactly what I was about to ask. A lawyer in a dark suit stepped inside, a folder tucked under one arm. He looked at Bella, then at Denise, then at the documents on the tray. His expression froze. He lifted his eyes to Denise and asked, Do you even know who actually paid for that car? Denise recovered first. Oh, please, she said with a sharp laugh. Who even are you? The lawyer stepped further into the room without raising his voice. Victor Hale. He held up a business card. I represent an account connected to Bella Flores. Bella frowned immediately. An account. Victor looked at her carefully. You weren't informed. Denise crossed her arms. There's nothing to inform her about. That car belonged to this household. Victor's eyes shifted back to the paperwork in Denise's hands. Interesting. For the first time since entering the room, Denise looked unsettled. Bella noticed it instantly. Victor pulled a chair closer to the bed. Bella, I need to ask you something very clearly. Did you personally sign any ownership transfer documents for your vehicle? No, Bella answered immediately. Denise cut in fast. She agreed before surgery. Victor opened the folder in his lap. According to hospital records, the transfer was signed at 9:14 this morning. Bella looked at him. Victor continued calmly. Your surgery began at 8:50. You were already under anesthesia. The silence after that felt heavier than the hospital air itself. Bella slowly turned toward Denise. You planned this. Denise's jaw tightened. I was trying to take care of things while you were incapacitated. Someone had to act like an adult. But Bella's mind had already started racing backward, through years of smaller moments she ignored. Mail disappearing before she saw it. Denise insisting she handled finances. Denise getting irritated anytime Bella asked questions about money after her mother died. Her phone buzzed weakly on the tray table. Denise grabbed it first. Hey, Denise answered smoothly. Yeah, everything's fine here. Bella heard her father's voice faintly through the speaker. Then Denise muted the call before Bella could say a word. Victor noticed too. You didn't tell him what happened, he asked. Denise ignored him. Victor extended his hand. I need the original sales documents. For a moment, Denise didn't move. Then, reluctantly, she handed him the folder. Victor flipped through several pages quietly. Then he stopped. His entire expression hardened. He lifted one document slowly and stared directly at Denise. This signature shouldn't exist. By late afternoon, Bella was sitting in the passenger seat of Victor Hale's car outside the dealership where her vehicle had been taken. Her stitches hurt every time the car stopped. Victor noticed. "You sure you want to do this today?" Bella stared through the windshield at her car parked near the service entrance. "If I wait, she'll find another way." Denise slammed her own car door and marched across the lot toward them before they even reached the building. "You're seriously doing this publicly," she hissed at Bella, "after everything this family's done for you." Victor opened the dealership door without responding. Inside, the tension spread almost immediately. The sales manager recognized Denise and forced an uneasy smile. "Ma'am, we were told there might be an issue with the transfer." "There isn't," Denise snapped. "My stepdaughter is emotional because of surgery." Bella saw two employees glance at each other. Victor placed the paperwork on the counter. "You processed this vehicle under Denise Flores acting as Bella Flores, legal guardian." The manager nodded carefully. "That's what we were told." Victor looked at Bella. "How old are you?" 22. The room went quiet. One employee actually stopped typing. Denise folded her arms tightly. "I manage the household finances. Her father approved everything." But even the manager looked uncomfortable now. Victor asked, "Can you pull the original purchase records for the vehicle?" Denise immediately stepped forward. "Her father paid for it. End of story." The manager hesitated, then motioned another employee over. A few tense minutes later, the employee returned holding printed records. He looked confused. The down payment and title registration came from a trust account." Bella blinked. "What trust account?" Denise's face lost color. Victor slowly took the papers. "That's what I'd like clarified." Denise suddenly pointed toward the office doors. "This meeting is over. Continue the sale." The sales manager shook his head immediately. "We can't do that if ownership authority is disputed." Victor's tone stayed calm. "Proceeding now could expose your dealership to fraud liability." That changed everything. The manager straightened instantly. "Freeze the transfer." Employees nearby started whispering. Customers in the waiting area were openly watching now. Denise turned toward Bella, furious. "You're embarrassing this family." Bella looked back at her steadily for the first time all day. "Why didn't you want me finding out about the trust?" Denise opened her mouth. But Victor's phone buzzed. A document had just been emailed from the finance office. He read it silently. Then his eyes lifted toward Bella. "Bella," he said carefully, "this wasn't the first time someone accessed your account." The hospital consultation room felt colder than the rest of the building. Bella sat across from Victor with a stack of copied financial records spread across the table between them. Denise stood near the door with her arms folded, refusing to sit. Victor slid one document toward Bella. "This trust was established after your childhood accident," he explained. "Settlement funds were placed under legal protection until you turned 21. Bella stared at the page. Her mother's name was on the paperwork. Not Denise. Victor continued. "Additional inheritance funds were added later." Bella looked up slowly. "I never even knew this existed." "That," Victor said carefully, "is becoming very important." He opened another file. Rows of withdrawals filled the pages. Some small, some large. Several happened while Bella was still a minor. Victor pointed to the signatures beside them. "These authorizations are inconsistent." Bella's stomach tightened. Suddenly, years of arguments made sense. Every time Denise claimed money was tight. Every semester Bella delayed classes because the family couldn't afford it. Every unpaid bill Denise blamed on emergencies. Meanwhile, money had been disappearing from Bella's protected account. The consultation room door opened abruptly. Bella's father rushed in. still wearing work clothes, confusion already written across his face. Denise said there was some misunderstanding, he said breathlessly. Denise immediately stepped forward. Because there is. Bella's letting this lawyer manipulate her. Victor calmly turned the documents around. There's documented evidence your wife signed a vehicle transfer while Bella was under anesthesia. Bella's father froze. Victor continued evenly, laying out each piece one by one. The surgery timeline. The forged authorization. The dealership statements. The trust withdrawals. With every page, Bella watched her father's expression fall further apart. Denise pointed at Bella. After everything I sacrificed for this family, this is the thanks I get. Bella finally spoke, her voice low but steady. You sold the one thing you thought I couldn't fight for. Silence. Then Victor closed the folder. There's already a formal review underway regarding this account activity. For the first time, Denise looked genuinely afraid. A knock sounded at the door. 2 hospital security officers stepped inside. One addressed Denise directly. Ma'am, dealership management contacted local authorities regarding possible fraudulent documentation. Denise slowly turned toward Bella's father. Her voice cracked for the first time all day. You knew about the money too, didn't you? The room went completely silent after Denise's accusation. Bella looked at her father. For a second, she genuinely didn't know what she was going to see on his face. Guilt, anger, maybe even confirmation. But instead, he just looked lost. What money? He asked quietly. Denise stared at him in disbelief. Don't do that now. I'm serious, he said, his voice shaking. You handled all of that after Maria died. You told me the legal paperwork was settled years ago. Victor watched them carefully before opening the folder again. Bella's mother established a protected trust after Bella's childhood accident, he explained. The settlement funds were legally secured for Bella's future. Additional inheritance money was added later. Bella's father slowly sat down in the nearest chair. Victor continued. Part of that trust purchased Bella's car when she turned 18. The vehicle legally belonged to Bella alone. Denise looked away. She never had authority to sell it, Victor said firmly. And multiple withdrawals from the trust show signs of forged authorization. Bella felt like the room had tilted. Her mother had planned for her future. The car was never some reluctant gift from Denise. The tuition delays, the unpaid balances, the constant speeches about sacrifice and financial stress. The money had already been there. Her father covered his mouth with one hand. The college payments, he said weakly. The emergency loans. Victor nodded once. Bella watched realization hit him piece by piece. Years of excuses suddenly had somewhere to land. Denise finally snapped. I kept this family together. Do you think bills just paid themselves? Nobody answered her. Not Bella. Not her father. Not even the security officers standing near the door. The silence hurt her more than any argument could have. Victor handed copies of the records to one of the officers. Investigators will need all trust-related documentation connected to these withdrawals. Denise looked around the room like she was waiting for someone to defend her. Nobody did. Bella's father stood slowly and faced her. You lied to me too. Denise's expression hardened again, but the confidence was gone now. Downstairs, the dealership officially voided the vehicle transfer before the sale could finalize. By the next week, Denise was no longer living at the house. Bella didn't ask where she went. A few weeks later, Victor handed Bella the restored title paperwork herself. For the first time in years, every account connected to the trust was placed directly under Bella's legal control. Her father attended every meeting after that. Quietly, without excuses. One afternoon, after her recovery finally improved enough for her to drive again, Bella walked across the parking lot outside her nursing program and unlocked her car. The same car Denise said she didn't need anymore. Bella sat in the driver's seat for a long moment before starting the engine. Then she noticed the old faded keychain hanging beside the ignition, the one her mother had attached years earlier. Bella wrapped her fingers around it carefully, and for the first time since the surgery, she smiled. Because the car had never really been about transportation. It was proof that someone believed in her future long before Denise ever tried to take it away. The day my stepmom sold my car was supposed to leave me powerless. Instead, it exposed everything she spent years hiding.